Good morning to you all. It's a very dreary morning here in Western New York, but that's okay. It finally feels like autumn, and I've been waiting for it for a while. It's my favorite season of the year, and we had a really warm end of summer and early fall. And I know some people like that, but personally I don't. So I prefer a more temperate climate rather than heat, and especially not in September. So I don't mind it at all. It just feels cozy. So I'm here at work. I got here not too long ago. It's 8:42 in the morning for me right now. I need to teach at 9:20. I got in about quarter after 8. Had a bunch of emails to go through, as has been my lot in life all semester. And it's a grind, keeping it real. This is now, we're almost 3/4 of the way through this biggest block of in-person teaching in our fall semester. And we are all exhausted because we have so many individual sections that we're responsible for, but I'm not going to dwell on that again. I've already talked about that. And you're probably sick of hearing about it. All of this just to say that I'm feeling a little weary. I don't feel like going and teaching these classes. I have 2 this morning. I've got one from 9:20 until 10, and then another one from 10:20 until 11. I'll have a break in the middle of the day in which I will have to do some more grading, more email answering. And then I have another class at 2:50 that'll finish up about 3:30. So yeah, it's a little bit of a crazy day, very busy, lots to do, and it just keeps kind of piling up. So what is our theme for this week? I was I didn't spend as much time yesterday on my Inspire post, those weekly posts I've been doing this fall with regards to managing stress, and our Inspire acronym, where I'm looking at all of these positive things and things I would like to change in every given week. That has been very useful to me, and there's been a few of you participating, and I've been appreciating that very much, feeling like you're along on this journey with me. Yesterday's was even more like it hit home a little bit more for me, even more than usual, and I spent less time on it because I didn't have as much time yesterday. It was kind of terrible, if I'm being honest. I had so much grading to do. I was sore from sitting in my chair. I hate that. I don't like to be so inactive, but it had to get done. I still have a little bit to finish up today, but I got the majority of it done yesterday. And I was just wallowing, So this is in the midst of all of these classes, and I had that grading to do. But a couple of the things that I mentioned are things I want to talk about today, so in just more depth. So just an overall wellness philosophy whenever we're going through busy times in life. So yeah, I want to talk about that. I'm looking at my notes over here. If you're watching the video, I want to talk about 54-day rosary novena that I have coming up. And I wanted to talk about, generally back to that wellness, like taking time away, even when you have lots of things to do, for these small things that are really important to our emotional and mental health. So yeah, let's do that. So I've had all this going on at work with the teaching, so I've been kind of stressed out. I've been, all those things that you already know. And then at home, I have had my kids adjusting to a new year at school. And Henry has been doing really well. He's having a few bumps in the road with regard to adjusting to 6th grade level work, because the ante has been upped for sure. He's in Catholic school, so he's in the same school he's always been in. It's not a larger setting where they're changing class frequently and having that other transition to deal with. So I'm grateful that he's in the same building with the same kids. He doesn't have to change classes as much, but he has a higher expectation with regard to the work that they have to do. And so he's been, we've been having to work with him a lot because he has been not performing as well as he has in the past. And I don't think that I'm one of those parents that I don't think or expect that my kids are always going to get A's, because all kids are different, and sometimes everybody has a bad test, and that's just part of life and the overall experience. So I don't sweat small things like that. But this has been a little bit of a trend that he's been struggling a little bit, and as of this fall. So we've been, just spending some time with him. He's just he's such a good kid. He's just, he's almost 11, and he rushes, and he just isn't careful with proofreading and editing his work and taking his time, and it easily forgets to complete things, to go back and complete them before. So we've just been trying to instill some good habits. But other than that, he's doing really, really great. So that's that. My precious little Anne has been definitely going through a little bit more of a difficult transition into full day kindergarten. And it's really nice having her at the same school as Henry now. We've all been enjoying that. In fact, they have school mass today, so sweet. And they see each other there. I really like that. But she's been, I don't know, I can just tell that she's sad. And she talks a lot about her pre-K teacher. It's gonna make me I was so emotional last night. It's been a very emotional time. But she's really broken up that she doesn't get to see her pre-K teacher anymore. So what happened is that we had her in the public universal pre-K, and therefore you're just assigned to an elementary school somewhere in our district. So that was not the public elementary school that she was assigned to for universal pre-K that she would have gone to for kindergarten, even if we had left her in public school. And then that school that she was at for pre-K had closed due to a consolidation. So all of those teachers were then scattered to other schools. And so the pre-K teachers were moved to yet a different building within the district. Even if Anne had gone to public school, like I mentioned, she would have gone to the public school that's down the street from us, which is not where she went, nor where the pre-K teachers were moved to. So in any event, even though she wound up in a completely different situation in the Catholic school, she wasn't going to see those same, her teacher and the teachers this year. But still, I carry this level of guilt that she is taking this so hard. She keeps asking about her teacher and asking, why can't we go visit her? She had the gift for her, and she really wants to be able to see her again. And I just feel brokenhearted about this because it's not something that is passing. It keeps coming up. And I think it's because she just doesn't feel that same level of attachment and bond yet with her new teacher and her new classmates and her new classroom setting. And the past couple of nights, I have had broken sleep for the first time in a long time, since we don't have a baby in the house right now. It's been a while since we've been up in the night, and I have had broken sleep because Anne has been having bad dreams, and it is just breaking my heart. So last night, I finished washing my face, doing all of those before bed things, and I stopped in her room just to check on her like I do every night. And as I was opening her door, she starts crying out, saying, stop it, no, please don't. And of course I go rushing in, and she's just having a bad dream, but she's crying. Anne is a very volatile sleeper. She's always to and fro and all over the bed, and she does talk in her sleep sometimes. But she was obviously very upset, and she wasn't even really awake. So I soothed her. Mike came in, we were both soothing her, and it was hard to get her calmed back down. And this is the third night in a row that this has happened. So I know that something is on her mind. I tried to talk to her about it this morning, but she doesn't remember because, she was half asleep when this all was unfolding. So I don't really know what to do. We just keep trying to provide her with a happy, secure environment at home. And all of this is just to say that it just feels like a time in which I need to be praying more than ever, and I need to be focusing on keeping myself in as stable an emotional place as I can so that I can be there for them, for the kids, and for Mike. So that's why I have been really taking this to heart recently. So today, I brought this in with me if you're watching the video. I've been struggling a little bit more to keep up with daily prayer. So I've got many, many rosaries. And this rosary is just like one that Anne has. It has Mardi Gras colors. The beads, so the decades are all different colors of teal and purple and yellow, and I kind of love it. Anne picked it out. and from Allison's shop. I'll put a link in the show notes if you want your own rosary. And she and I pray a decade of the rosary every night, and she uses this rosary. And so I asked her to make me one just like it, because it makes me think of Anne when I pray with it, and I keep it in my car. So I was praying with this one this morning and thinking about her and just hoping that she had a good day. It's October now, and I was really hoping that she was going to start to adjust a little bit more. She doesn't complain about going to school, so that's a good thing. It's not like she's dreading going or anything like that, but there's just a little level of sadness there. I can tell that it's not the same experience for her this year. And it's a fairly big sacrifice for Mike and I financially to send the kids to the Catholic school. And so I want her to be happy there, because to me that feels like a smaller and more secure, emotionally secure environment, just because the teachers can focus on each child so much more because the classes are smaller, and plus they have faith in the curriculum, and that's like a soothing thing. And I asked her recently what they were doing at school. She's like, some math, some praying. So I'm hoping that is a positive thing for her, but yet it doesn't seem like it's become quite that for her yet. And, I want it to be that. So it's very much on my mind. So all that was going on last night, and then I made the mistake of checking my Facebook timeline. You should never do that when you're already in an emotionally vulnerable state. And some of the news stories that I saw posted on that really, really upset me and disturbed me. And of course, there's always world events going on that are upsetting and disturbing. And it just hit me even harder last night because I was feeling just so upset about Anne's struggle and all this. And so I went to bed just with my heart feeling very heavy. And I felt that way again this morning. So I'm just doing the best that I can. I prayed a decade of the rosary with this rosary in the car this morning. I was thinking about the upcoming 54-day rosary novena. I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes too. So I had written about this for Catholic Mom, and I wrote this piece back in the summer because I had to write my fall monthly pieces for Catholic Mom ahead of time. There's no way I would be getting to them this fall. I knew that ahead, so I had that. Sometimes I have good ideas. So I pre-wrote 3 of them in early August and just had them already so I can just load them onto the site and just create a graphic for each one, which doesn't take long, for September, October, and November, since I knew time would be limited. So I had that one done, and I put the graphic together when I had time back in September and put it on the site, and it went live this week, and I totally forgot all about it. And so I saw somebody tweet about it. I was like, oh, that's right. I wrote that. And it was about starting a 54-day rosary novena leading up to Advent. And then a friend of mine on Twitter wrote to me and said, I really loved your piece, and I had been thinking about starting a 54-day rosary novena, and your article pushed me over the edge that I was going to do that. I thought, oh, this makes me so happy. And so she came up with the wonderful idea of starting on All Saints Day, November 1st, and the 54 days sync up perfectly with finishing on Christmas Eve. How spectacular is that? I usually pray 54-day rosary novenas during ordinary time, but I love this one, this crossbreed between ordinary time and Advent. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to use that timeline too, and I created a page at the top of the blog where you can just link to it and see what it's all about. The dates are in there for easy reference, and there's a link in there if you want to follow the traditional 54-day rosary novena schedule for when to pray the mysteries. I just go by the regular ordinary time because that's what I remember. Mondays, joyful. Tuesdays, sorrowful. Wednesdays, glorious. Thursdays, luminous. Fridays, sorrowful. Saturdays are joyful. Sundays are usually glorious, but I want to say in Advent it is also the joyful mysteries. So I will look that up. But it has all that information in there. So if you want to join along, please leave a comment and let me know. I would really love that. But that's really perking me up. And I've also just been, especially with this this current block of teaching, the current grind that we're in, I have been forcing myself, but in a good way, to take time out of my days for short, small times away from my computer screen. So I go to Pilates on Mondays for lunch. And last night I did not have time to walk during my work day, which was very disappointing because I was sitting in the chair so much, and feeling just so sore from doing so. In the evening, I went out for a walk with Anne in her wagon, and it was beautiful because the leaves are starting to turn here, and the air is just, it's like a little crisper. And so it was very, very pleasant. We saw tons of people out walking their dogs and, just generally enjoying the fall air as we were. And it was a really good experience. The exercise is a very important part of our emotional well-being. And it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to be a runner in order for exercise to be of high quality. I don't run because I worry about my knees because I want to belly dance until I'm 100, until I drop dead, pretty much. So I worry about the impact, the heavy impact that running has on one's joints. So I'm a walker though. And so it doesn't have to be high intensity. You can go for a walk every evening, and that does wonders for your overall mental and emotional well-being, and also just your physical well-being, obviously. And I know that from, I think I've mentioned this before with my history of heart disease and high cholesterol in my family. My blood numbers are better when I keep up with small things like this in terms of all of those indicators. So yeah, just whatever. So I've been doing that. And the other thing is my knitting girls. I mentioned them in my Inspire post this week too. All late summer and early fall, I have barely been able to join them. They get together 5 days a week usually to knit or crochet or craft in some way over lunch. And I've barely been able to join them because of my teaching schedule. And 1 day a week I go to Pilates because I want to make time for that physical component. But on the days that I don't go to Pilates, even if I can only go see them for anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes rather than an hour, I still go. I have my knitting bag here that always has a project in it. You cannot not have a project. Can you imagine the travesty? That's a crafter's worst nightmare. So I go down there and I work on the scarf that I'm working on. And we craft, but more importantly, we talk. And it's a very emotionally supportive environment. And that's very important during challenging times. Very important for the emotional and mental health. And so I have been, I'll have all this stuff to do, but I'll tell myself, you need to go, even if it's just for 20 minutes. You need to go down there, and I'll eat my lunch at my desk in work. So it's not like I get a break from during that. So I use the time to do these other things, to either work out or to have that emotionally supportive time with my friends. And you really can't measure the benefit that has to your overall health and well-being. So I've been trying to do that. That's where I'm at, peeps. It's been a draining week, and I'm just hanging in there. I'm looking forward to a nice evening. I'm looking forward to a nice weekend. We're taking the kids to a pumpkin thing a little south of here. It's got a pumpkin patch and a corn maze and all that kind of good fall activity stuff. I'm really excited about that. Mike's Play opens this weekend, and I'm going to see it on Saturday, and I'm excited about that. So good stuff coming up. So if you're going to be joining in the novena, please let me know. Let me know if you're, if the Inspire posts have been inspiring to you, and if you'd like to join in, or if you've joined in, how it's been going for you. So let's talk about that kind of stuff over the weekend. I look forward to talking to you all next week. I hope that you're doing great in the meantime, and I look forward to responding to all of your comments. I'll see you soon. Bye.